Right. Discussion time.
Getting hit, enemies getting hit, what are we doing?
I reckon. Pushback. Red, flash red. Yeah, we could have an animation.
I
Could not.
think an animation would work.
Possibly. We
Just
could.
like stumbling back or something.
Could be put in. Could be put in. Might look nice. What do you reckon, Tyler? Do you want to hear your opinion on this?
I don't know. I think that the straight knockback and red can work with the aesthetic. The animation wouldn't necessarily hinder it, but I think that a red knockback does fit with the aesthetic.
Animation might be a bit much.
Just the low poly kind of art style still would match the knockback without an animation needed.
Yeah.
I think if you had a bit of a knockback and the colour flash, you got to look at your scope and your time. Having an animation would look good too, but you got to think that how big is your character's going to actually look on the screen. So a knockback might be, and a little flash is a good indication that you're hitting something.
As long as I think there's
It's
a
a trigger.
visual representation for the player.
Yeah.
I'm open to the idea of having animation. I mean, I can just do it. It's just
Shouldn't take you guys long to actually chuck an animation if you wished. You guys have already done a stack of animations. Just thinking
could
about
just
your scale
do
and
something
time.
scuff where the thing just like leans back
However, the flashing red would be easy to see straight away. There's nothing worse than swinging in a game and not knowing if you're hitting, the bad guys.
You could also put it for
Well, knockback and vibrant red should be enough, right, to notify the player that they've hit something.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So
the question is whether the animation is necessary or not. I mean, we could have an optional. I mean, if you guys want to go for the actual work, or then again, that could be like might be a little bit weird considering some models might not have an animation, some do. So I don't know. Do you guys feel like putting the extra work?
Well, if
Is this a hill you're willing to die on?
we can make the animations, we don't have to use them. So if some
But
models
then
have
you're
an
making
animation.
it. But then there's no. If you make it but you don't use it, then what's the point of making it?
the point is that you have a prototype to deliver. Right, by week 10.
Making animation take longer than implementing it. If you're going to make it, you may as well just drop it in.
Yeah.
Well, you can do either or. But what I'm saying is you've got a prototype to reach. So you got all these key points you want to meet. But if you really like it and it's successful and want to push it further, like, you've inspired deeper to go deeper.
It could be a post-launch.
Exactly. So
Post-launch
it's good to
DLC.
plan these things, to have them, to think, oh yeah, that'd be really good, but also what do you need to do to meet your prototype targets? And pushing back and flashing red is cool. Later on you could probably chuck the animations of them reeling backwards as well, but you probably would still keep the pushing back and the flashing red, because I think that will work. Unless of course you try it, you test it and go, it looks like crap, and then you might try something else. This is the iterative process of game development. So right now you guys are deciding on what? Pushback, flash red.
If time allows, I guess, an animation.
Yeah.
But
Some more important things to implement.
yeah, put that on the back burner.
Back burner, post-launch DLC.
So extra $10 for those.
Oh, dude,
Knockback
definitely.
animations.
I reckon we probably charge like probably $5 or $10 for the animation.
You know that's part of your expansion pack that you're going to have there with,
I mean, we could,
all new skins and collectible items and...
I'll be willing to do an expansion pack after like finish with Diploma.
I think get people to input
Over the
three wacky
holidays, about the
numbers.
time for it.
We get those 3 wacky numbers from all our players.
Yeah, I mean, I really want to put in that raid dungeon, just because it's a funny
That's a
Easter
great
egg.
idea.
Like
There's nothing wrong with having the Easter egg, rave dungeon.
yeah,
It's
like a 2% chance it'll spawn. It's just like, oh, cool, it's raid dungeon.
If you put it as a chance to spawn, then that's just part of the natural generation. If you have it as,
Yeah, but it's a
you
very
have to
good
do
chance.
something specific.
Yeah.
Like before you go down to the next floor,
That'd
you
be a
do
unique
like
item.
if you spin like 5 times in a circle and then go to the next floor, it generates or something.
Yeah. Could be like a unique level that just pops in. Like, you know, oh, we can get the rare vodka martini.
Is that then an Easter egg, or is that just something that's
Maybe
just
a
rare
really
chance?
cool feature. And an Easter egg.
But instead of fighting, and that would require a hell of a lot more animation, but instead of fighting, you have to have a dance off.
Yeah, of course.
Oh, yeah.
But again, could be expansion pack. The raid dungeon. Everyone's just doing moonwalks. But yeah, expansion, man. That would be, yeah. Holidays. Got it planned already.
However, we've got a scope, 10-week scope to reach first before we start even thinking about your expansion packs and
Yeah, that's
you know,
good.
your DLC and your currency models that you're going to go on and
Yeah.
to subscribe.
So,
And
we all in agreement, just push back Flash Red.
Yep.
Cool.
Yeah.
Animation be on the back burner for if we do the expansion pack. What other discussions do we need to have? Music. I don't think we had a conversation about that.
I don't think so.
oh yes, music. Has anyone looked at the music thing we showed the other day?
I was going to.
I used it once.
Probably gonna do
a
it
while
today.
ago.
Yep.
So it's alright. I didn't use it very much. But yeah, we
Is
could
this
probably
the
use
last
it.
website?
Well, it's up to you guys. If
The music website.
I mean, there's plenty of websites with good music.
Can upload stuff.
and of course, if you've got somebody that you know or whatever else that wants to be on your games doing their audio. I suppose you guys got some skills in the audio.
I mean, I know someone who was studying music at uni, but I assume he's probably not going to be able to if he's doing 6 units a 6 units a week.
Probably
Or
not.
a week.
That's the trouble with using student labour as well. It's like, they've got their assessments to hand in as well, so unless it marries up.
That is true.
We did have a dealio with another college at one stage. They had a whole bunch of students doing audio, and we thought, it could be really good, and not much came through because same sort of situation. They had to reach their assessment deadlines and this and that and the other. And,
Okay. So I think at this point we probably going to go for royalty-free music, but if we get some custom tracks, that'll be pretty obvious. But
well, that's the thing that we were looking at the other day on the YouTube. That thing that you can create your own tracks. I don't know what the licensing is, and now you've obviously looked at it once.
I think it's all royalty-free.
I think the deal that we saw on the YouTube clip was it was a trial.
Yeah, but you don't need an account. Oh, maybe you do.
Wait, scroll up.
Same about.
Scroll up. There's a C thing across to it. What does that say? Completely
Completely
royalty.
royalty-free, yeah.
I mean, I figured because it's designed for you to chuck into your games and select different categories, I would assume that you would be able to use it. Obviously, it would be the whole point of it. But whether you have to pay for the program, but the YouTube clip we saw, I know there was a trial thing, 30 days or something, which would probably be enough for you guys to get your tracks out anyway. Either that or you do, and scroll through all the royalty-free stuff. And make your own sound effects, do the really cheesy pew pew.
yeah. Okay. Well, is there any other things you guys would like to mention, or forever hold your peace until next week?
Not that I can.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Going through Fluid Sim, we'll have a look at that one, especially if you're going to do a cutscene. Any other physics that was being used? You're now talking about shooting fireballs. That shouldn't be too hard to do. It's just particle shots.
Yeah, I guess seeing with range enemies, because we agree that spiders would be range. It's the only range enemy I think we have.
I don't think we're going to have spiders or caves in our game, but the Shimon probably won't get them done.
I
I
don't.
was doing the cave room yesterday.
Yes.
Do we have He was making it. It looked like he was making it from scratch, though. Like, is it going to make the actual template that we have?
Yeah.
And the other thing is, do we have a spider model at all?
So this is a good reason to have these sort of little scrum meetings when he's present.
Yeah.
We'll have to have another meeting like when he's present and just to nail certain things down.
In like 20 minutes.
I gave him a spider model anyway, so I know you have it's a walking one. I don't know if it's got no attacks or anything, but it's easy to put in.
Yeah.
For the cave level.
I think like spider just be like shooting webs.
Yeah.
And like then there's like the variations of enemies. Like,
Well, is that scarier having a spider shooting webs from a distance, or it coming up and actually you have to deal with
maybe
melee?
it's socially awkward. That could be a law reason. It is possible. But maybe we could have variations of both. Spiders shoot from the distance and they.
Well, it's looking like there's a few characters now that may have range as well as melee abilities. I guess it's all time-wise as to whether you want to do it.
Yeah.
Like the Goblin can probably shoot
Goo.
Sneeze at people.
Acid.
Yeah.
I don't know what goblins are made of.
Goo.
What is? Can you describe to me like the kind of like lifestyle of a goblin?
No.
Hangs around the sewers, you
Yeah,
know.
just chills there.
Well, you'd be riding the wall by now, Keanu.
I
So
thought
forward,
that
so-
was your job.
I don't know. I did create a goblin. I don't know what you're talking about.
I think you actually did.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
I didn't do it.
I don't know these accusations you guys accuse me of, but no, that's chill. Again, like, I mean, enemies could have both, but it could be like a backbone thing.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I can definitely see Yay just like picking up a rifle and goes, spider shooting webs, skeletons have a crossbow. Again, time, because doing animations, and also because considering you probably have to make like a whole new like crossbow asset and stuff like that. That just takes time.
It does take time, but as I said before, put it down in your asset backlog, put it in your future development, not earmarked for your prototype unless of course you've got time. Because as I said, if this game is actually working quite well for you guys, you might want to take it further. Like I could see, Yeti's throwing big boulders.
Expansion pack.
Are we using bosses at the end of each floor?
Yeah, they've just scaled up enemies.
Because I don't think we've touched that, have we?
No,
No.
we haven't.
We don't even have enemies in our game right now. So like,
Don't
It
have
could be
any.
bosses can wait.
At this point, it might have to be a backburner thing. Expansion pack.
I mean,
Well, get your enemies in
Yeah.
there to start off with, and then when you go to transition from your final room, you can think about what you're doing there. For now, you could just color code.
Could we have the transit, like the room that has the level transition, not open until you clear like, I don't know, 80% of the dungeon floors,
Oh,
rooms?
Or just put a big scaled up version of the enemy with a lot more health.
Well, the thing with the scale of enemy, would it fit in the room?
I mean, no, it'd be too tall.
Yeah, very quickly.
Does it even matter? Do you even need a boss? I mean,
Probably not,
once you
no.
clean out a room, or if you're saying if you have to clean out a certain amount of the dungeon before the final room opens.
Maybe it could just be open. Because you want to get the most score, so you want to clear out the dungeon, right? If you just go to the next floor, then
So if we
waste
we have a look at the sort of inspiration of Deeper. There's no main bosses. There are different types, but there's no main bosses. You're just going level by level. Yeah. And your game's pretty much going to be that. It's going to be continual until you die.
Yeah.
So
The formula that me and Shimod worked out of like, because you get, he was looking at getting the score being equal to the amount of coins and stuff you get, then adding the floor that you're at, like,
You know,
but that means that if you could just like pick up another score and just go charge to the next level, next level, next level, next level, like I was trying to do with Depot, then you quite possibly max out the score.
I
must be
think
the block off road.
I think
Yeah.
what we could do for the bosses, right, is
Oh,
not
true, I forgot about
to not them have not like the levels, but they can have their own like boss levels. So like once you finish the first dungeon, then it goes to the boss room. So
So
like,
like if
like Binding of Isaac,
in
actually.
between. Yeah,
Yeah.
so that you've got like that just separate room.
yeah. So you finish the first room, you go on to the boss stage, and then you go on to the second room, boss stage.
It's like a completely different floor just with one room.
Yeah. With the amount of bosses, I mean, if we all can't make a big version of bosses, because, I mean, at this point, it would be, impressive to have Spider and Cannons. We could have maybe 2 unique bosses. So maybe one at the midpoint, and then one at the last point. So there's the big demon boss, and then the midpoint could be like, it could be like a big giant. I would say spider. Spider would be cool. Maybe a big
We
yeti.
end up with a spider
Yeah.
wall.
Because that was the midpoint, isn't it? We could have a giant Google boss, maybe. Or big yeti. Really could be anything.
I just feel like the big yeti, big skeleton, big demon are probably going to be quite quickly get too tall for the room. Because they're
Which is why it's
vertical.
boss arena. So it's like it's just a big. I mean, you don't even have to do random generation. It's just be like a unique room itself. So like, big box room.
You know, but roof-wise, it's like...
There's
Yeah,
no
just
roof.
make the walls.
I know, but you need to make the walls so the skeleton will be like sitting over the walls, or the yeti. Google and a spider you could scale up quite easily without their heads kind of overtaking the wall, but like skeletons and stuff, skeletons, demons, yetis, quite quickly their heads would just be whoop, over the top.
Yeah, because they're big boys. Yeah. Maybe they're just so big for the dungeon. It's a wall reason. I don't know, teleported in. Maybe there isn't a roof in this dungeon. I mean, there's no. The player doesn't see the roof. Maybe it's a dungeon with roofless. That's correct.